Buenos días y bienvenidos a todos. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to a community dedicated to providing spiritual tools for living a happy and full life. My name is Karina Shearer, and I am the spiritual director and founding minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta. If you would like to join us for the live Zoom meeting, please contact me for the link and the password, or check our website, www.cslpv.org. And you'll find the link on both the landing page as well as on the weekly talk section. So today is Sunday, November 16th, 2025. Yes, the day has finally come. We are continuing our monthly topic for the month of November, Loving the Unlikable. And the topic for this week is opinion, fact, or truth. So let's get into it. I'd like to truly welcome everyone, including those that are new to our teaching and to our center here in Vallarta, whether you are on the live Zoom meeting or watching the replay at a later time. Here we teach a philosophy that honors all faith traditions. So whatever path you are on, know that it is the right one for you. Everyone is welcome. We teach a philosophy here called the science of mind, and it is based on the teachings of New Thought and ancient wisdom, where we offer spiritual tools and principles to promote personal growth. And as I mentioned, we honor diversity in all aspects. When Dr. Ernest Holmes first studied or first founded this teaching in the 1920s, he had studied both Eastern and Western spiritual texts in order to create the science of mind, which focuses on the individual use of our thoughts and this powerful thing called the mind. When asked to provide a concise definition of the teachings of science of mind, he had replied that it is a correlation of laws of science, opinions of philosophy, and revelations of religion applied to human needs and aspirations. That kind of sounds like facts, opinions, and truth, doesn't it? So each week we offer an inspirational message. We do have this Zoom meeting on Sundays at 10 a.m. And as well, we will be meeting Sundays in person at noon. We have found a new location for our in-person gathering, and that can be found, the location can be found on our website. If you check under the drop-down menu for location, and it's also on our landing page. So we are now meeting in person at the Living Room Bookstore in Centro, which is in Cinco Diciembre. So after each service, whether it's here on Zoom or in person, please join us afterwards for some coffee and conversations with like-minded people. And now, as we do each week, let's review our purpose, vision, and mission statements. We have a grand purpose here, and that is to awaken and celebrate diversity and to love and serve our community. We do this through our vision, creating the life you desire. And this is supported by our mission to provide spiritual tools for personal growth and transformation. And more on all of these can be found in their own drop-down menu on our webpage. And now, as we have been doing each week, let's have a spiritual mind treatment. and I'll be reading today from the Creative Thought magazine from November of 2014. And just a reminder that spiritual mind treatment is always done in the first person. So I invite you to take these words as your own. And if you wish, gently close your eyes to fully embody these words. God, creative intelligence, infinite wisdom, and absolute power is all there is. I am the beloved, valuable, and one-of-a-kind expression of this intelligence and power. Acknowledging that I am God's partner, I know that the work I do is done with love. I share my gifts, talents, and skills in order to contribute to the ongoing success of the business or organization with which I am involved. Every idea that my divine self reveals supports the progress of this effort. Therefore, the entire atmosphere is one of prosperity, cooperation, and sheer joy. I also make a conscious choice to recognize the divine self in each person with whom I communicate, and the divine self in each person responds. Together, we each give our highest and best to accomplish our goals in divine order. All challenges are met with an understanding that something new and better for all concerned is seeking to be revealed in the situation. I am especially grateful for the opportunity to remember that since I work for God and with God, all things are possible. Thankful that I continue to love what I am creatively self-expressing, I release this word to the law. The law works out the details, and so it is. And that was originally submitted by licensed practitioner Lynette Tucker from New York City. So today we are talking about opinions, fact, and truth. And do the beliefs that you hold fall into the category of one of these, opinions, fact, or truth? When you hold a belief that is revealed to be a false opinion or a debunked fact, are you open and willing to change your belief? And what do you hold as truth that others disagree with? What do you do when someone you love fundamentally disagrees with a value that you hold dear? In the book Rooted, Life at the Crossroads of Science, Leanda Lynn Haupt wrote this: truth and fact are not synonyms. Science gives us the essential realm of fact, more significant than ever in this time of health and climate crises. Yet a poem, a myth, a moment of comprehension may be entirely true while not being scientifically factual. And Leon Festinger wrote that when we are faced with information that challenges what we believe, our first instinct is to make the discomfort, irritation, and vulnerability go away by resolving the dissonance. Well, we might do this by rejecting the new information, decreasing its importance, or avoiding it altogether. The greater the magnitude of the dissonance, the greater is the pressure to reduce dissonance, he said. So in these challenging moments of dissonance, we need to stay curious and resist choosing comfort over courage. It's brave to invite new information to the table, to sit with it, to hear it out. It's also a little bit rare these days. And when Ernest Holmes urges us to remain open at the top, he did this throughout his entire lifetime. And this call to openness is more critical today than ever before, especially in the era marked by rapid technological advancements, conflicts, violence, artificial intelligence, and profound political divisions that fracture families, friends, neighbors, communities, especially those marginalized communities. In navigating these turbulent times, it becomes crucial to apply the spiritual truths that we hold dear: oneness, wholeness, the unique expression of spirit in every living being, and the creative process itself. These truths serve as guiding lights amidst the confusions where facts, opinions, falsehoods, and manipulations often blur into one another. So embracing openness at the top means that we maintain receptivity to new ideas and new perspectives while still anchoring ourselves in these enduring principles. It involves discerning the truth from misinformation, fostering compassion across divides, and actively contributing to a more inclusive and harmonious world. Socrates said this: "The unexamined life is not worth living." So let's examine this a little deeper. What is opinion? What is fact? What is truth? Opinion is a personal belief, viewpoint, or judgment that is subjective and can vary from person to person. Opinions are shaped by our individual experiences, our emotions, and perspectives, and they do not require objective evidence to be valid for the person holding them. For example, I believe that classical music is the most soothing gene. That's my opinion. Fact. A fact is an objective statement that is supported by evidence that can be verified as either true or false. Facts are based on empirical data and observations, and while they are considered true based on current knowledge, they may be subject to change when new information is discovered. For example, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius at sea level. Truth. Truth is the immutable spiritual truth and principles that we believe are universally valid and unchanging, regardless of the circumstances or new information. And these truths often form the foundation of our spiritual or philosophical beliefs, and they are considered eternal and absolute. While spiritual truths do not change, our relationship to them, our understanding of them, and our perspective on how the world works as a result of them will and may shift as we grow and evolve. For example, love is a fundamental aspect of human existence. Thomas Keating wrote this: discernment is a process of letting go of what we are not. So every day we face an overwhelming influx of information from a multitude of sources. And according to a study by the University of California in San Diego, the average American consumes approximately 34 gigabytes of data and information every day. And while this varies globally and individually, our capacity to process and assimilate this knowledge far exceeds that of any previous era. However, not all information reaching us is accurate or truthful, particularly in an age dominated by AI, artificial intelligence, and deep fakes, where opinions and falsehoods can easily masquerade as facts. But it's our responsibility to exercise discernment or judgment in distinguishing between truth, fact, opinion, and falsehood. Much of the information that we retain is shaped by our personal perspectives, our beliefs, and our individual histories, which makes it easy to fall into echo chambers that reinforce our biases. Therefore, it's critical to be mindful of the sources and credibility of the information that we encounter. And by critically evaluating whether the information aligns with factual reality or personal opinion or spiritual truth, we can then navigate with greater clarity and openness to evolving perspectives. In the Four Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz wrote this: whenever we hear an opinion and believe it, we make an agreement and it becomes part of our belief system. So one of the greatest challenges is when we learn new information is to confront beliefs that directly oppose our personal opinions. For many years, people believed in the miasma theory that diseases were spread through foul odors or bad air. And in the mid 1800s, scientists, including Louis Pasteur, presented evidence that the diseases are caused by germs or microcosms and microorganisms that are invisible to the human eye. And consider Galileo, who faced resistance and condemnation when he asserted that the earth revolves around the sun. Labeled a heretic, he was compelled to recant his findings and spent the rest of his life under house arrest. Today, the heliocentric model of our solar system is widely accepted as fact. Yet, similar challenges persist in various fields, such as history, social dynamics, like white supremacy and patriarchy, quantum mechanics and sciences, where emerging knowledge often challenges long-held beliefs. And in these moments, Ernest Holmes reminded us to keep our minds open at the top to a new influx of wisdom and to pause, to evaluate our beliefs against the measure of truth. Instead of clinging to misinformation about because of discomfort or fear of being wrong, we have the opportunity to acknowledge and rectify where our opinions have been inaccurate or even harmful. Embracing uncertainty, curiosity, unlearning, and critical thinking allows us to embrace new perspectives and evolving truths. And this journey not only enriches our understanding of spiritual truth, but it also enhances our engagement with the complex world that we inhabit. Here's a little story. High in the mountains, Beyond, where the air thins and the trees grow small, there was a hidden cavern that the mystics called the mirror of the world. They said anyone who looked into it would see truth itself. And people came from faraway lands to look. The first visitor was a painter named Aaron. He gazed into the mirror and saw swirling colors, vibrant blues, reds, and gold. He stepped back in awe. Ah, I knew it. The world is made of color, emotion, and expression. That is the truth. And he went off satisfied. Next came a monk, silent and steady. He peered into the mirror and saw a still lake, perfectly calm, reflecting the sky. He bowed and whispered, "Yes, all is empty. All is peaceful. The world is an illusion." He too departed, content in his conclusion. And later, a young scientist named Jessa arrived, carrying instruments and notebooks. She looked into the mirror and saw only her reflection. She laughed. "It simply reflects light, nothing magical. The truth is just physics." She wrote detailed notes and left with confidence. Days passed, and the mirror remained quiet. Finally, an old wanderer climbed up the mountain, his clothes simple, his feet dusty. He approached the mirror with expectation. When he looked into it, he saw nothing at first. Then slowly, he saw everything: his joy, his grief, his failures, his hopes, stars forming, mountains eroding, faces of strangers he never met, light that had no source, darkness that felt like rest. He stepped back, trembling, not afraid, but humbled. A voice within him whispered, "This mirror reflects what you bring to it. Opinions are the colors you paint with. Facts are the properties of the mirror itself. But truth is the vastness behind your eyes, the awareness that sees the seeing." Truth is the vastness behind your eyes, the awareness that sees the seeing. The wanderer bowed, not to the mirror, but to his own unfolding understanding. As he walked down the mountain, he said to the wind, "Truth is too large to be held by one view. It reveals itself according to the depth of the seeker." So it's crucial to maintain flexibility and openness at the top. Ernest Holmes repeatedly emphasized that science of mind is shorn of dogmatism, freed from superstition, and open at the top for greater illumination, unbound and unlimited. This approach offers a clear and intelligent framework for understanding life, one that encourages us to continually reassess and evolve our personal opinions and beliefs. To create a world that works for all, we must be willing to critically examine and potentially change our deeply held beliefs. I think we get so busy in life that we've become used to receiving everything instantaneously, that we've forgotten to use our own logic and trust our intuition. We need to do our own research and sort through opinions of others and consider the source of the facts that we are given in order to come up with the truth that aligns with our higher self. Understanding the foundations of our world, including systems of marginalization and oppression embedded in various aspects of society, from science to spirituality and beyond, is essential. By recognizing where we have entrenched ourselves in beliefs that may no longer align with factual reality, we can leverage our understanding of spiritual truth to foster personal growth and evolution. So this week, I recommend that we spend time contemplating our ability to be open at the top. What beliefs have you staunchly defended that may no longer be supported by evidence? And how can embracing spiritual truth guide you in reshaping your perspectives and contributing to positive change in the world? I'll leave you with this final quote. If you would be a real seeker after truth, it is necessary that at least once in your life you question, as far as possible, all things. And that takes us to our affirmation for the week. I value the clarity that comes from distinguishing between truth, facts, and opinions. And now it's time for updates at our center. So as I mentioned earlier, starting this Sunday, today, we will be meeting at our new location at noon at the Living Room Bookstore and Coffee Shop in Cinco de Diciembre. The location is on our website, or you can simply find it in your Google Maps. And if you are interested in learning more about the Science of Mind teaching, we do offer classes both via Zoom as well as in person. So connect with me or check our website to find details. And there's also a survey on the drop-down page for classes so that you can choose which classes you are interested, or even a space to put in one that's not mentioned on the list. So please let me know. Courses, classes, book studies, whatever you are interested in learning more about. And if you would like to have a one-on-one connection or spiritual mind treatment, then please connect with me so we can arrange for this. I'd also like to remind you to sign up as a member for this current year of the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta, as we do renew memberships annually. And we also have an opportunity for you to be on our board of trustees if you are so interested. So please contact me to get the current forms for either of these. I'd also like to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook page. And we are also now on Substack. So if you are interested in receiving the link to our Substack, the invitation, then please let me know. And now it's our time for mindfully giving and financial support of our spiritual home. We rely on your support to continue our center here in Vallarta so that we can continue offering this powerful teaching of the science of mind. And we bless the financial gifts that you give, no matter the amount. Donations can be made using PayPal or Tithely through our website, www.cslpv.org. And you'll find the donate buttons on both the landing page as well as the page where you find the weekly talks. Alternatively, you can still send in a paper check by addressing it to CSLPV number 403 2125 Birch Road, Kelowna, BC, V1Y 8M1. And now please join me in our offertory affirmation. I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I do give eternal thanks for the abundance that is mine to share. So thank you for coming and sharing your time with us. And let's continue practicing peace. We can each be a force for peace and nonviolence. Our words and our actions create ripples of peace all around us and beyond. Peaceful living includes acting with compassion, kindness, and consideration. And it also includes standing up against injustice. So today, more than ever, we need to stand for peace. Hug your friends, your loved ones, and your neighbors. May peace and love be with you. Blessings to all. Namaste.